Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE SmackDown Live episode 1036 and 205 Live episode 135, both broadcast on Tuesday, June 25th, 2019. I believe that's the right date. Something like that. I took a lot of notes on both of these episodes. I really enjoyed both SmackDown and 205 Live. We open up the night. Kofi says Samoa Joe is not a complicated man. He is like a Samoan shark who's just on the attack. Dolph comes out. Kofi, he says that Kofi took the coward's way out by diving out of the cage. And so he challenges him to a fight, and if he wins, then he will be added to Samoa Joe versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules. Although it will be a 2 out of 3 falls match, which is one of 78 2 out of 3 falls matches this week. But that's still okay. I kind of see what they're doing. I saw something about how with Fox that they're going to have more matches end before commercial breaks, or have pinfalls happen to end before commercial breaks instead of it's a kind of a different thing than the usual thing of like a suicide dive and then commercial break, that kind of thing. But we'll see how it goes. As this is like very heavily testing the waters for that. Like it's not really subtle about it. They're just doing it for everything. So hopefully it'll lighten up a little bit. But also I realize if it's Shane that's making all these matches, it makes sense that he likes these 1/3 and 2/3 of things, because he is actually only 1/3 of the best in the world. Of course, The Miz is the other 2/3 of the best in the world, since he won the first 2 matches in that tournament to determine the thing at Crown Jewel. Anyway, up next we had Xavier Woods and Big E versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Xavier Woods wins via the midnight hour to Daniel Bryan, but then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come out and attack the New Day, and Heavy Machinery come out to the rescue. And so we get an 8-man tag team match: Heavy Machinery and the New Day versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan and Kevin Owens. Heavy Machinery wins this match. I think they pinned. I don't know who they pinned. Was it Sami Zayn? Was it Sam Zayn? I don't know. But lots of this week as well. They have a singles match that turns into a tag team match, then a tag team match that turns into a 8-man tag team match. All that kind of thing. At least there weren't any elimination matches in this episode. I don't know. Up next, we see that Nikki is determined to win Alexa her rematch at Extreme Rules. And so later on, we'll have Bayley versus Nikki Cross. If Nikki Cross wins, then Alexa gets her rematch at Extreme Rules, like I just said. Then we have The Miz versus Elias. As the Miz comes and challenges Shane McMahon, Shane says, well, you can have a match with me if you fight Elias, and you can win in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Of course, another 2 out of 3 falls match. Fall 1 goes to Elias via driftaway. But then Shane attacks, which gets Elias a disqualification. So the Miz gets the second fall. And then Shane attacks. Elias gets the third. The ref was out of action for it. He didn't see all this. So Elias gets the third fall, and The Miz is effectively dead. Backstage, we have an interview with Finn. Finn is asked what is next for Finn, and the answer is Shinsuke Nakamura. He wants a piece of that Intercontinental Championship. They don't say anything to each other. It's just, we know what's happening. And hopefully, I want to see that Extreme Rules. I want to see everything at Extreme Rules because I'm actually going to be at that show. So, yeah, I want to see everything that happens there. Bayley versus Nikki Cross. Nikki actually wins, and so Alexa gets a rematch. Nikki is so excited. She's like climbing up onto the commentary table just with one of her legs. She doesn't completely climb up there. She's saying, I can't wait to tell Alexa. Carmella backstage is on the hunt for truth, but then she comes upon Mandy and Sonya, who are about to go out for their match against Sonya's match against Ember Moon. But that is quickly interrupted by Drake, who, R-Truth is hiding inside of the bench area from there's a piece that they put in at ringside for the hockey players to sit in. So whatever that segment of the bench is called. Let's call it the segment of the bench. Anyway, he's hiding in that thing backstage. Also, I totally missed this. And I guess there were other instances of stuff because I was lamenting that Bray Wyatt had no presence at all this week. But I guess all members of the Firefly Funhouse have been in the background of various shots this entire week. And I totally missed all that. And in this scene, Ramblin' Rabbit is in the background. So that was kind of cool. So I did see that, not as it aired, but I saw pictures of it and stuff. So now I will be looking for that, have my eyes peeled for that in the future. Drake comes up to Truth. He's in shambles. He says, "Don't worry, I don't have a ref with me." And he says, "You've ruined my life." And R-Truth hugs him. He's sorry. He says, "You know what? Go ahead. Get a ref in here. So it means so much to you." So Drake brightens up. He calls a ref over, and R-Truth says, "Psych," and runs off. So then everybody starts chasing him again. Because now they know because he was on TV. They're like, "Oh, we know where that is. That's where they keep the bench parts of the ringside benches." Also, R-Truth said he thought it was Carmella's wedding that he was ruining. So, that makes it any better. They ruined someone's wedding. I don't know. Then we had Ember Moon versus Sonya Deville. Mandy causes a distraction that helps Sonya win the match. And Corey says, "Is there anything on earth Mandy could do that wouldn't cause a distraction?" Fair point. Aleister Black, he still wants a fight. He wants somebody to challenge him. If somebody does knock at his door, and we don't know who it is. But he seems pleased about it. So we'll see what happens next week with that. I guess. I don't know. More questions? Okay, and then our main event, Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi gets the first fall. I think it was Trouble in Paradise. It might have been SOS. I don't remember. Dolph pins after a super kick. He pins Kofi for the second fall. And then Kofi hits Dolph with the Trouble in Paradise for a third fall to win the match. So Dolph Ziggler will not be added to the WWE Championship match at Extreme Rules. And there was lots of good stuff throughout this match, but I did not take specific notes about it. And but yeah, I was like, go check this. I like this episode. Lots and lots of matches. Even though it was a lot of kind of silliness with matches becoming another match, and then also 2 out of 3 falls. But I mean, they're trying stuff. They're trying some different stuff. This really is the time to do it, to figure out what kind of different stuff works. And looking at it from that perspective, I think makes it a lot more enjoyable, I guess. I don't know. And then we have 205 Live, episode 135. I started watching this, and I thought I hit watch live, and it started playing. It was like the Lucha House Party came out, and then Tom Phillips was on commentary, and he made the exact same joke that he made last week, that he tried to correct. He didn't make the joke, but the joke was made that Lindsay Dorado, Nigel calls him Lindsay, and Tom corrects him, and Aiden says, "Oh, he knows his real name." So I thought, I really like that joke. It makes me laugh every time. Didn't they make that joke last week? Wait a second. This is last week's episode. So I exited out of that episode and tried to watch the live feed again. and got rewound a little bit, and so I got back on track. So I didn't actually realize, I kind of tuned out through a lot of this because I was starting to work on a painting project, but I did enjoy this episode. I think it's worth checking out. We have a number one contenders match as the main event, which is awesome, but I don't have any specifics to really talk about other than the ending. Well, you open up this promo from Drew Gulak, talking about you call me champion and all that, but he says, this place, I was trying so hard to change, to make 205 Live better when I should have just been making myself better. And what you saw on Sunday, that was my wrath. This place deserves my wrath, and you call me champion. I did go back and watch the triple threat match. Very good, awesome, and I see Tony has he wasn't the one pinned, so he rightfully wants a chance at this again. But this contenders match is Tony Nese versus Tozawa, so both competitors from that match going head to head tonight to determine who will fight Drew Gulak in his hometown, Philadelphia, at Extreme Rules. The first match of this episode, we had Kanellis versus Gallagher. Gallagher won after a ref argument caused Mike to get distracted, and he was arguing with the referee about something or other. I think Maria was like being a distraction or something. I don't even remember. No, that's right. He was grabbing onto Gallagher's tights. And so there's an argument about that, but Gallagher took advantage, got the win, and Mike, frustrated, says, no, you go tell him, Maria, you go tell him I'm done. He just walks off through the audience. And Maria's like, what? What? What does he mean? I don't know. There's a little bit of follow-up on that from Drake, saying how unprofessional I was and all that kind of thing. I think that happened. Did that happen? I don't know. Then we had a local fella, Hollenbeck, something like that, fight Humberto Carrillo. Of course, Humberto Carrillo defeated him. And we have a few things. They're talking about Humberto's cousin, I think it was. And I think Nigel was saying, oh, yeah, Beth Phoenix is really... What did he say? He said she was like fawning over him or something like that. And I think it was Aiden who said, I didn't know that Beth Phoenix was code for Nigel McGuinness. Which is pretty, because Aiden English is usually one fawning over Humberto Carrillo. But anyway, his cousin, I don't know his name. I forget his name. But I guess he's in the breakout tournament that's starting this week. I still need to watch last week's NXT and NXT UK. So I'm probably going to do that after I finish recording this episode. Stay tuned for that. And this current week's episode of NXT and NXT UK. I'll have that up very, very soon. Lots of wrestling I get caught up on. I don't have to drive anywhere this weekend, so... I can do it. I could have watched all this stuff while I was driving, but I ended up like just listening to stupid music for most of the trips. Backstage, Tavares getting interviewed, and Oney Lorcan attacks him, yelling, "How does it feel? How does it feel?" Like, not exactly, but it is a surprisingly high-pitched yelling voice. How does it feel? That's not how he sounded at all. But I can't. I'm laughing about it, imagining if he did sound like that. But however he did sound, it did make me laugh anyway. How does that feel? I don't know. Then our main event: Tony Nese versus Akira Tozawa. Tony Nese versus Akira Tozawa. Tony Nese won the match via like a driver of some sort. I don't know the name of this move. I don't know if I've ever seen Tony Nese perform this movie before. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention close enough. Is this could this have also been the move that he beat Buddy Murphy with, and I just totally forget? I don't know. I could have sworn that he beat Buddy Murphy with the running Nese, but anyway, it was this like backpack pile driver thing. They delivered to Tozawa, and so Tony Nese will be fighting Drew Gulak at Extreme Rules for the championship. But they end with a handshake, and the mutual respect between these two is very nice to see. So, oh man, 205 Live is the best wrestling show that I watch personally. It is just consistently so good. The wrestling itself is so good, and the stories make a lot of sense too. It's the most consistent story throughout its entire run. With all the superstar shakeups and all of that, the stories on 205 Live have continued onward. And I talked about this especially last year. Everything was just completely jumbled up with the superstar shakeup but 205 Live just kept chugging along with its already established storylines, just moving on forward. And it was excellent. And the addition of Drake Maverick, well, he was added before WrestleMania, so because he's the one that started the tournament that culminated at last year's WrestleMania. But like, it's just been like week to week. You could just sit down, like forget about all the other WWE stuff. Just watch 205 Live. Such great wrestling, and the stories. I mean, there's nothing fancy about the stories really, but it's consistent and it's great. And more people need to watch 205 Live. If you're sick of any other wrestling, like I wish Raw was better, wish SmackDown was better. Why do I keep watching all these every week and it's just not getting better and all that? Go and watch 205 Live. Don't watch it in addition to, just watch it instead of Raw, instead of SmackDown. Just watch 205 Live. If I wasn't doing this podcast, with the kind of feel like I should watch all of it so I can talk about all of it or as much of it as possible, I would just do pay-per-views and 205 Live. Like, kind of honestly, that's all that, like, I think I would be really happy just watching that much. And takeovers included as part of the pay-per-views. Yeah, there's still such good stuff that happens throughout all of the shows. Like, every episode of a show has at least one thing that makes me really enjoy watching. So that's why I'm still hooked on all of this. But anyway, so yeah, that's it for this week's SmackDown and 205 Live. Let me know what you thought about these by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. And thanks for doing that. Thanks for listening. Stay safe out there in all of the infinite multiverses. And I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye. Somebody, I gotta add some music at the end, maybe, so that there's some separation. Bye. Bringing it back.